This is Jennifer Valentine-Miller, bringing you another edition of the Jennifer Valentine-Miller Show in January, during a time when some are talking about Christianity with a lot of deep misconceptions. In January, Christian Concern welcomes the government's decision not to close churches or ban communal worship, especially during the English lockdown, which was announced by the Prime Minister. There can be no doubt that the legal challenge and pursuit of a judicial review by 122 church leaders has helped the government understand the crucial importance of church independence. Never in its history has the UK churches been forced to close, not during wars, plagues, or famines. Instead, churches have always been a place of respite and hope. Prayers have been requested for all church leaders and their congregations during these crucial days. I pray that they be given wisdom and courage to responsibly honour and worship God and love their neighbours during these challenging times. Now, in a way, it's odd given that the rich heritage of Christianity is coming under some scrutiny. Not forgetting providing some great talking points in this otherwise often awkward subject of conversations, we are aware that nobody gets to heaven by being good, or that faith is not just a blind leap. For the new year, leaders from Grace London and Salt London continue to clear up questions many didn't know about Christianity. Online services and Zoom sessions are so inviting. And during this time, many enter or accept invitations with open arms. But they do stumble over questions that they need to ask. One of them that we found is, are churches buildings? And are church buildings unnecessary? Now, a church is a people, and it is a particular group that's come together to form a family, despite having zero things in common. This means that they can knock down all the old church buildings in Britain, and the actual church, which is a group of people, would not be wiped out. Arguably, it would flourish. The second thing that new converts have noticed is that not all male Christian ministers wear the traditional dress attire. Now, the early Christians were a ragtag bunch of men and women with very flat leadership structure and very little in the way of special outfits or elaborate rituals. Today, we call that style of Christianity low church, as opposed to high church, which is, in our case, the Church of England. It is important because it means that Christianity is designed for the contrary, ordinary guy in the street, and Christian ministers, therefore, should look pretty ordinary and normal too. Not a lot of people can comprehend why, but that is why there is not a lot of emphasis on attire. But on a Sunday, you will probably see the senior minister wearing a suit. Okay, now the third one. There are more Christians in China than the population of Britain. There is simply no way you can describe Christianity as a Western religion. And more so than ever today, for example, in China. Christianity is exploding over there, as well as in underground hidden churches in places like Iran and Nepal. The Christian faith in general is growing fastest on the continent of Africa. Britain may not be to many a post-Christian country, but that says very little about the fortunes of this faith. Another question that's cropped up is, you will never encounter deeper diversity than you do in the global church. The reason is that Christianity advances by the power of its message, and that message itself is one of radical unity, regardless of natural divisions. Therefore, on Sundays, church should be normal, and normal means sitting next to a Nigerian, Malaysian, or a Ukraine at church. And doing such things should be normal as well. The earliest Christians managed to bridge some impossible divides, which with slaves and masters worshipping alongside one another, as well as Jews and Gentiles. So the diversity has always been there within the global church. So if Christians were less involved in social issues, chaos would develop. Now, the answer that Grace has given is, it's estimated that the volunteerism of Christians in Britain is worth around 350 million every year. At the same time, there are a lot of people who think Christians are dangerous and don't fit in to modern society. It should be understood that the selfless kindness and generosity of so many Christians, and understand the reasons why they do all of this. Believing in Jesus changes you in a very basic way, changing individuals and helping them to become more loving and kind.